I wish I knew this before quitting real estate. Why do some realtors quietly build pipelines, close deals consistently, and scale fast, while others struggle for 18 months, burn out, and quit? I quit real estate after 18 months of grinding, turned in my license, walked away completely. 3 years later, I learned something that made me physically sick. I didn't have to quit. I just needed to go inactive. But that wasn't even the worst part. There were two strategies sitting right in front of me the entire time that would have generated 10 to 20 leads per week. I used the MLS every single day for 18 months and had no idea it was a lead generation machine. The difference between realtors who quit and realtors who thrive isn't talent, it's strategy. I'm now an MLS instructor and I teach over 300 realtors a year on how to use the MLS matrix. That seat gives me a front row view into what actually works and what quietly kills careers. What if the real gap between struggling agents and producers has nothing to do with leads, personality, or market conditions, and everything to do with three strategies you've never been taught? But before I break those down, let me show you what happened when I didn't understand this and how everything changed once I learned what top producers actually do. Early on, I thought success meant working harder, waiting for broker leads, and hoping my turn would come. That approach didn't build a business, it drained me. Once I learned elite agents actually operate and how they operate, using the MLS as a prospecting system, not just a search tool, everything shifted for me. Let me walk you through the three strategies that separate realtors who quit from realtors who scale. You don't have to quit. You can go inactive instead. If you feel like quitting is your only option, you're missing the third choice. Month 18, I was broke, burnt out, and convinced I had failed at real estate. I turned my license in completely. 3 years later, I called the Texas Real Estate Commission and asked, could I reactivate my license? What do I need to do? They said, you surrendered your license, you'll need to retake the entire exam and all the hours needed for pre-licensing courses. That moment crushed me because that's when I learned I could have just gone inactive. Going inactive means you keep your license without paying broker fees or E&O insurance. You can reactivate anytime, no retesting. Just a small annual fee of $50 to maybe $200 depends on where you live. I didn't know that was an option that even existed. So I lost 3 years and thousands of dollars and decided it wasn't for me. One agent now I trained went inactive for 8 months. She took a teaching job for stability and learned MLS strategies during her downtime and came back with a plan. First 90 days, full closed deals. You don't need to quit. You need to press pause and learn what you're missing. The MLS is a lead generation machine. If you think the MLS is just for searching properties, you're using a $100,000 tool like it's worth $50. I used the MLS every single day for 18 months and I thought I knew it. But I was only using it for searching properties and for searching out clients. Now I teach MLS Matrix to over 300 agents per year, and here's what I see. 95% of the agents never learn the three strategies that actually generate leads. Top producers don't search for clients. They search for active buyers, cash investors, and collaborative opportunities with other agents in their office. Stop waiting for brokers to give you leads. Generate your own pipeline. If your broker stopped giving you leads tomorrow, would you still have a business? If the answer is no, you don't have a business, you have a dependency. My first time in real estate, I waited for broker leads. In rotation. I'd get a notification, new lead assigned. I'd jump in, only to immediately understand that other agents would either have called already, emailed, and I was so excited, most of them didn't even answer. The ones who did, that I decided to call back immediately. tie kickers are already working with someone else. But I kept thinking, eventually I'll get a good one. Meanwhile, there was a veteran agent at my office who never seemed stressed about leads. I asked him, how are you getting deals when the lead system is so slow? He said, I don't use the lead system. I use the MLS. That sentence changed everything for me. That veteran agent closed 58 transactions that year. I closed 3. The difference wasn't talent, it wasn't experience, it was this. He knew how to use the MLS as a lead generation tool. I didn't. Now I teach just over 300 realtors per year. The ones who implemented within 30 days, they're still in real estate a year later, thriving. The ones who don't, 60 to 70% of them quit within 18 months. It's not talent, it's the system. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Everything I've ever told you is completely useless if you don't implement these 3 things. You can learn scripts, you can learn social media marketing, you can learn cold calling. But if you don't, then you can go inactive instead of quitting. How to use the MLS as a prospecting system. How to generate your own leads instead of waiting. Nothing else will work. I quit because I didn't have a strategy. I thought real estate was the problem, but real estate wasn't the problem. My lack of knowledge was. If I learned these 3 strategies in month 3 instead of teaching them years later, I'd never quit. I never would have quit it the first time. And I'd probably be one of those top producers instead of the instructor waiting from the sidelines. If you're thinking about quitting because you're overwhelmed or not making money yet, pause. Give yourself 90 days, go inactive if you need to, but learn these 3 MLS strategies first, because quitting should be a choice you make from clarity and knowledge, not from frustration and ignorance. Here's 3 actions you can take. I share MLS strategies from training 300 agents a year. If you watch this next video here, I'll screen share or right there, MLS Matrix, and show you these 3 strategies step by step. It's a full tutorial on how you can follow in real time. Comment below, are you thinking about quitting? Or are you already going inactive? Learn these strategies and come back strong. I'll read every comment. Don't quit on a system you never learned to use properly. I'm an MLS instructor and I've trained over 1,200 agents in 4 years. The ones who implement these strategies don't quit, they build careers. Because the difference between struggling and scaling isn't effort, it's operating with the right strategy.